We're going to try to whitewash this, which is just basically stating that we're going to use some sort of color. Again, they use white, hence the name, but we're going to use gray, and we're just going to wash it, which is just dilute it with the water that we have here and make it so it's a light color to see through. So we'll see if this works and if it's good. Not a lot, just a little, because again, it's just whitewash. We're just throwing a little bit in there, and then pour the rest with water. Again, you want to do 2-to-1 kind of ratio, and it's going to make it pretty thin. Now you can thin it down even more, add more water to thin, or obviously make thicker, add more paint. But again, it's whitewashing, you want it thin. So it's better to make it pretty thin, if anything, more water, put it on, and just do more coats. And then once we take our brush, we'll apply it on, and then you just take a dry rag, and we're gonna take some of it off, and that after effect is whitewashing. Okay, so just tried a little bit of the whitewash there. As you can see, it goes on really light. You wipe it off, and basically exposes a lot of the wood. Me, I don't like it. No good. Whitewash, ugh. Next, we're going with some color and some lace. We're going back to old school the way I do it. Ooh, yeah. Hey everyone, we're back. Kyle's Diaries. Here's another episode, doing another chair, adding on some lace, making it look old and vintage, trying to make it look as cool as possible. So we got a nice little piece here again, a nice little Craigslist find. Again, if you're looking for some cool pieces, people are always throwing out these old chairs, old tables, or basically anything from the 80s and 90s that still have really good quality to them and made with some good wood. Go around, check your local classifieds online, and just drive up and down your blocks during spring cleaning. You'll find tons of stuff to throw in the back of your car. So again, we've done as usual, just took some sandpaper. I've been starting to actually use quite a heavy sandpaper, 60 grit. Just gets it done a lot faster. It's not as smooth and as a good of a finish if you work your way up using those a little bit finer grits to the next finer grits and making a nice one. But I noticed on these old vintage designs that we've been doing, it's actually a lot simpler just to take the 60 grit paper, roughly score the whole part of the chair here, really just expose those pores and get off the old clear coat and any type of other paint or things that they have on there, and just really allows us to get our paint on there and stick on there. So again, take your chair, sand the whole thing down, even the base, do that really well. And then we're going to take our paint, which we're going to go with just some basic white here. Same as usual. Where's that front there? Just found a good old 3.7 liter tin of it on sale. I think it was only 10 bucks, regular 40 bucks or something like that. That's all you need. Again, we're going to put all that stain over it. So it's going to mask and hide most of it anyway, so it doesn't matter. And again, sand it. We're going to paint the whole thing except for the base. Let it dry. Then we're going to take the sandpaper again, scuff up all the marks on it, make exposed areas that are going to look rustic. So again, it's really going to give us that rustic feel that we see on all the pieces here. Now again, you'll see that I'm going pretty heavy with the scuff. You don't have to go as heavy. I have some other parts that you can go light, okay? So some parts where you just do maybe one or a couple little mini parts here, still looks good. Don't have to go as aggressive. It's two different looks, and that's what you can play around with different chairs and see what you like, what your style is, or just have a A and a B option that you can use too. So again, let's get painting and we'll get going, and we'll see what the final result turns out. Probably gold as usual. All right. Best way that I found out is to get your chair, you sand the whole thing and prep it ready for paint, and you sand the base. Then you paint the back and the legs. Then when it dries, you come back with the sandpaper, you distress it and make it look old and vintage and worn out in those places that are going to be worn, right? Right on the top, main brackets down the middle, maybe where the legs are. You really want to distress that. So again, you do that, 1, 2, 3. And then with the stain, now you're going to stain over the paint and then wipe it all off. That's going to give you that look. a very old vintage, you know, the color's starting to crackle. It's not that bright, brand new color anymore. So hopefully it's been like 100 years, something like that. And then with the stain, you can do the whole back and then right onto the seat. So it's okay if you're spilling. It's okay if you're getting a little bit of these hand marks. No big deal with the stain because again, the whole thing's getting stained at once. So that's the best way, 1, 2, 3, and 4. So get your chair, sand it all, paint the back and the legs, sand to distress, then stain the whole thing at once. Then, if you like me, once that's done, I'll lay on the lace, spray paint over it, and then I stain last time over the lace as deep of a stain color as I want over that white stain lace, or over that white lace, to give that look of if I want that to be more exposed, or if I want that to just be kind of super vintage, really worn out through there. And you can also, you know, sand the lace a little bit more if you want to, so it doesn't have to be so perfect. And yeah, so we're on that staining process. We're going to get to it and finish it off, and then show you what it's done when we're finished. All right. Okay everyone, so here we go, finish the paint. As you can see, we're just doing it rough. Doesn't really matter. You don't have to get really nice edges there. You just gotta make sure it's on, right? As much as you need, no big deal. Don't gotta be too particular and too detailed. The only way you wanna be, or the only time you wanna be detailed is right here on the edges. So right there on the edges, I even made a couple mistakes, but again, those are the parts right down there where it's touching the wood. That's where you want to be detailed, because again, you don't want to do too much work of having to sand it and go over things 2 or 3 times. So again, take your time on those tough edges. As I said, when you start with your paintbrush, do those first. You do those first, then when your brush is all kind of gunky, get onto the flat surface stuff. Way easier. You can be a little bit sloppier with that, doesn't matter. So again, get the base right. We got all that ready to go, good enough. It's already all sanded, so now we're gonna let it dry. We're gonna sand to scuff it up. Once that's done, we're gonna take the stain the whole thing. Make sure we stain on top of here too. And then, basically done. If you wanna lay the lace on, like I said, you can lay the lace on, right? Lay a lace on, give it a nice little spray. And then, like this one, we'll rub the stain over everything and finish it off, clear coat it, and that's it. That's how you do a finished, ready to go chair. One and done. And oh, before that, also if you want to add the touches like I do, again, we're gonna add the gold feet. So you can gold feet, you can put a gold bar in the middle, you can put gold lacing, or a gold middle parts, you can gold the lace. Do whatever you want. If you want gold, silver, copper out there, you can do bronze. Home Depot, Rona, whatever you use, has it all. Go check those places out. And yeah, so let that dry, and then we'll come back and show you the rest. Woo-wee! Okay, so we're taking our stain, we're going over everything. You just rub it over the entire aspect of the chair. Take your dry cloth and right on, you just wipe it off. That's all you do. And as you clean and you wipe off, you'll see now you go from a bright white to that rustic kind of look. It fills all these little grooves in, right? As you get to the edges, if you want, you can leave it a little bit dirtier. You can wipe it more, whatever you want to do, and go from there. All right, well, there we have it, everyone. Chair is basically done. We got the stain over all the sides, all the legs. Again, I'm going to do the feet here in that gold, as you always see me do, so I don't really put too much of this stain over it. You can, it's not a big deal, but I just don't bother, whatever, not a big deal. And then as I said, throw some stain right there on that seat too. And basically that could be your final finished product if you wanted. If you want to add the lace, if you want to add other designs, add more accents to the feet, go right ahead. This is basically the way that I make my old vintage 1900 chairs. Ooh-wee. Okay everyone, so now we're down to just spraying the gold paint accents on the feet. That's usually how I like to do it, is just the feet alone. Makes it that, 1900, 1920 kind of era of a chair. Looks pretty cool. So we're just gonna spray this Rust-Oleum metallic gold, what is this? Bright reflective finish. So Rust-Oleum metallic gold bright reflective finish. Really good stuff. It's actually, it's for $10 a bottle. It's a really good product. And the only thing with it is that you need to take your time. Don't spray it heavy and try to get more than you need. You got to go light sprays and do that 2 to 3 times. So again, we just kind of taped off, nice and easy going. Just some tapes here. Then we put some newspaper to kind of cover up for overspray. And all you're doing is 1, 2, 3, 4, couple sprays lightly. That's it. Give it 10 minutes, come back. Again, 1, 2, 3, 4, couple times. Do that, about 2 to 3 rounds of that, and that's it. Okay, if you go too much, you're gonna find that it starts to run. And once you get a run on this stuff, you try to touch it up with your fingers, sand it off, redo it, you never get it the same. If you just take your time, do it as I said, you'll get a real nice finish that's glass like that, looks good, and really just adds a great accent at the end of your feature here on your design. So again, last part, you're tired of the week or a couple days or hours that you've been doing this, take your time. You always mess up at the very end. So take a deep breath, 1, 2, 3, take 10 minutes, relax, come back, 1, 2, 3, and that's it, man. You'll be laughing. Clear coat this thing and we're done. Wait! So spray paint is finally finished on the gold legs here. Again, nice finish, that's all you want. It'll just kind of give it that plasticky kind of, I don't want to say plasticky look, but it almost looks like it's coated. It doesn't look like it's been painted. It looks like it's been coated somehow. So that's when you know I only did 2 coats. That's good enough. And again, you're just going to come, as usual, grab your tape, you peel it off, and that's just going to expose how it looks. As long as you're happy with that, that's it. So we'll go ahead and grab those other 4 and clear coat, and that's it.